It's kind of an interesting move, I guess, to start. Definitely not the one I would go because it's an easy Hane either way to start. I'm just going to Hane this way and see what he does. I don't think black gets nearly as much from this as white does. And that is easily like, that's easily a Sente for white. And also, this is too big of small of an extension for this wall. I would probably have played D10. Because look at this position right now. You did get kind of a little Joseki here, but you let me get 3 corners now. So I definitely think that's definitely positive for white. The heck? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So literally, like, that's very bad. I'm not even going to answer that. Like, you got like this little corner, but the territory that you're giving up, the territory that you're actually giving up is like way, way too much for what you're getting in this corner. The influence right now is simply just worth a lot more. Gotta remember that Go is actually about territory. I might have actually just taken the thing. Like, I'm easily going to take the corner over here. Also, you don't go this way. That's fine, I guess. I can just jump here. That I'm not going to answer. I think I'm just going to do this. This isn't going to work. I can tell you that right now. This is dead. Oh, is it? Did I just screw up? Might have. Dang, I think I just screwed up. Yeah, I screwed up. I should have. I should have done this first. I should have just came down. Yeah, I screwed up, but that's fine actually. I screwed up. But even though I screwed up, like, it's still not a great result for him. It's still not a great result for him. I probably shouldn't do that, actually. Wait, that was a bad move. Yeah, I should have done that first. That was a bad move by me. This is also a bad move by him. That's actually a horrible move by him because that move doesn't really matter. And also, like, doing this is Sente, so he actually has to answer. That actually might have been too small. There's nothing more to be gained over here. So I'm actually going to jump over here to threaten this group. He does have quite a bit of territory, though. I mean, not really that much. He has like this and this, and You can't threaten this over here, so I don't really care about that. I'm just going to come over here to reduce the effectiveness of this. He should have double hunted there. He definitely should have double hunted on that one. This is kind of irrelevant, but sure. Probably should have just gone here. Let's go ahead and do this. There's he's already given up a lot here, though, is the thing. It's not going to work, most likely. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. He can try to go up that way, but there's a lot of cutting issues that he has right now. There's a whole bunch of cutting issues that he has right now. Okay, first of all, I'm going to do this to get this territory. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to get this territory first, which is pretty much more than all his other territory combined. That is useless now, because this is already out. I think I'm just going to ignore that, because he doesn't really threaten me. Now, I'm not really sure if this is a good move or not. It's playing okay for an 11k. The beginning was kind of weird, honestly. I'm just going to jump. I'm going to do this, I think. I think I'm going to jump this just to make sure like I can kill this down here. Because he really doesn't have a way to... he doesn't really have a way to do much to me. I don't really know what that actually does. I don't think it does anything. I'm just gonna let him have that stone. See, the thing is like, if you think I'm going to not sacrifice anything, that takes care of this cut. If you think that I'm afraid to like sacrifice stuff, just like sacrifice 1 or 2 points here, you're completely wrong. Because I don't really care about sacrificing stuff that doesn't matter. Like, sacrificing stuff that really doesn't matter is 100% A-okay to me. That's also really bad, because I think you are sacrificing... Wait, you're just gonna die. Yeah, you're just gonna die. Yeah, see, I'm actually alive, so you can't actually do anything. Like, you essentially have no way to live this group. You gotta think about these things before you actually play them. Because there's no way he can actually make it two eyes in here. Like, invading these corners straight off the bat is like invading this. I mean, even invading this is okay, but like invading this is a horrible, horrible idea. Because like the couple of points that you gain here is not equal to the influence that you're losing out here. Also, like yeah, I mean, there's essentially no way you're gonna live this. I'm not gonna respond to that. I'm just gonna come out here. And now this group is dead. I think he's making a lot of suppositions that I have to answer certain things, and I really don't. Yeah, I'll just connect this, is fine. Irrelevant, because I can just take it that way.
You have won.
Let's go back and review this game. I mean, that was just like a crazy fighting sequence towards the end. I will play another game. That one was pretty short. Like, uh, starting wise, you should definitely just go with these plays. I mean, taking the corners, at least get that even trade, and then if you want to do this, you can do this. Letting me get Sente on this is just not a good idea, because doing this is pretty easy. Like, you can white can either answer here or answer here. There's no advantage for black doing this. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna extend out, go down. I might have actually been better off just connecting, but go down. He does that. Like when white does this, I feel like you should just go ahead and do this. Extend down. Now I'm not even gonna bother answering that. I could pincer here and make this really uncomfortable, but I would rather. I know the corners are pretty big, so I just take the corners. But like the thing is, realistically, like that's probably the best move right now, because if you pincer this, then these four stones feel kind of bad. But either ways, I take the corner. He does that. This is way too small for this kind of wall. You should definitely want to do something like this, or even something like this. To be safe, you would do something like this, because no one's going to invade here. So like doing this is way too small. It lets me get another corner here. So now you end up with like this, and you've given up the two corner spots. That's definitely a big disadvantage for you. Do that. Trading this with this obviously is very disadvantageous for black. Block. This is fine. You just do this. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. I would probably just do something like this right now. That's perfectly fine. But you generally would not invade here. You generally would not actually invade here, because yeah, I'm gonna let you live because I don't think I can kill you at this point. Right, but you're just giving me more an advantage. All you get is a couple of points in the corner, and the thickness that you're actually giving up is way more. I'm not going to answer that, obviously. I'm not going to answer that, because if I answer here, he's probably just going to approach here. I can't I can't kill him at this point, so there's no point in like taking that one stone. That one stone's not big enough. Pincer this way. Here, white could also opt to do this, but I don't want to give him the comfortable 3 space. So here, then I'm going to go here. This is okay. I just messed up here. I think I probably could have killed him by doing this. I think this is actually, like, you could actually do this, I guess, but, and have a co, but generally, like, I just messed up here. Maybe, I don't know. Did I mess up? Maybe I didn't. No, I think I did. Because, no. I mean, technically this is ko. So I guess I did mess up a little bit, not too much. So yeah, that could actually be ko. I feel like maybe you could even do this. Because this is definitely dead, but there's a lot of stuff here. So I just kind of like took the easy way out. Just took that. You do this. Hane, just let him do that. But this is not a huge advantage for black either, because you just let me build up this wall up here. You're trading like very, very small corners for influence. That's generally not a good thing to do this early on. That's a mistake. I should definitely extend it up. And then probably something like this. That's not a good move. You should just double Hane this. This flattens me out by a lot. That doesn't make any sense at all, because all you're really playing for... I mean, plus this is Sente, so that doesn't really make any sense at all. So you're just basically giving up a move there. So I just went ahead and did this. You have to connect that. I'm going to do that first. That is Sente. Although, like, here, it could be argued that this move is actually bigger than this corner. But he answered anyways. I did this. I guess I probably shouldn't even answer this. I probably should have just done this. Because the most you can do here is this. It's just really not that much. I just wasn't really calculating. Like in a real game, I probably would not even have answered this. But I'm just extending up. I'm extending up again, coming up here, threatening this group. Of course, I'm not going to respond to that because that doesn't. There's not that much more that I can make except for the aside from the territory I already have here. So I'm going to do this first. Here, I don't know if black should. I mean, I guess black does have to respond there. I'm going to do this because I want to take down the bottom territory. This is a mistake. You should definitely double Hane. Because I can do this, and then I have to do this. And then, you know, like, it's not... Black can do other things there. So that should definitely be double Hane. Once you Hane this, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Because, like, I feel like this is okay as well. But I don't know how much more territory there is. I think, like, actually K8 is... I think K8's actually the move I should do, because if I let him do this, if I let him get this move, I have to respond, and then he gets some influence down here and possibly territory down here. So I'm just going to solidify this group. I feel like this move is probably better than that one. Crawl on here, go here. I still feel like this move is better. I don't know. I don't think this works. But if you really want to, like, because this does force me to kind of repair this, and you can just do this, and then, you know, this is actually how you use this kind of influence to build territory. Like, if you want to build territory in the center, that's actually what you would do. Threaten my territory on the bottom, build your territory here. That's kind of what you would do, how to build that territory. I'm gonna Hane this first here. This is just generally not very good. Also here, if you were to do anything, you would consider connecting, or you would consider doing this, because I have to connect, and then you can actually go here, and that would pull all of this out. You would destroy my territory, but you would leave this like serious. But you would definitely leave this like seriously vulnerable. So you have to balance those two. So you play. He definitely played this wrong. Actually, no. If he did this, I would do this first, and then, yeah. So I would still actually get this territory. In the end, like, there's nothing. I don't think you can do much about me getting this territory right now. But I mean, generally, like, this Atari is a bad idea. If you're gonna, I mean, like, once again, you would probably do something like this if you wanted the middle territory. Of course, I might just do this at this point, because, like, I guess, like, yeah, I feel like black should just do something like this. I feel like black should definitely just do something like that. I mean, you get some of the middle territory. I can still sort of invade, but not really. And essentially, like you're giving up a lot of the middle territory. You're giving up a lot of the bottom territory, in order to get this middle territory. So that's kind of like I think what I would do for black at that point. Just parlay this, give up the bottom, and then get the middle. Because I think this is just making it worse. You're obviously giving up your middle territory, and I'm basically just ensuring my territory down here. This, you might want to consider doing this first. Actually, no, it probably wouldn't work, so you probably don't want to do that. I mean, you have to calculate these things out. That's pointless. I'm going to defend this, but I don't think I have to do that. I can probably just come over here. That's probably what I should have done, because I don't think there's anything here right now. That's very bad, because there's no way you're going to live these 3 stones down there, and you're basically just giving me free moves to actually cut. See, I'm not really afraid of you doing this up here. I'm going to just Atari first and then jump here first. If you do this, I'm just going to give you this territory right now and do this. Because like this territory down here, I've gotten a lot of. I mean, trying to kill those stones just is not really going to work. Also, like, if just by doing this, I can just retreat. Obviously, I'm very willing to sacrifice this 1 stone. That's not a good move. Like, you would actually look at doing this, then I would probably have to spend a move doing that. Because by you doing this, you take away the H18 move. You would probably not answer this right now. You definitely wouldn't answer this right now. That's not big enough. You would probably do something like this, because if I Hane, you still have problems. So I'm going to Hane next, obviously. Then just go down here. That's probably what I would do if I was black. Because the thing is, like, before you try to run this, you have to, like, calculate, like, what's white likely to do. Because obviously, like, if you do this, you're not going to survive. Also, like, at this point, you would consider doing this, because I can't go this way, right? So what I would have to do is I would actually have to go this way. You would get those 2 stones. And getting those 2 stones is important because it solidifies that this group down here is actually alive. Otherwise, like, this group down here is not actually alive. So that's kind of like the review of this game.
Challenge received.
Like, it's quite... I'm going to play this game.
Started.
I mean, that's the review of that game. That was the review of the first game. I feel like it's just a lot of nuances that he didn't really quite get. And like a lot of times, like we're playing with lower ranked players, like you really got to like think and read out like what your opponent is actually likely to do. You can't just be like, oh, he's Ataring, therefore I must run. If you do that, you're really not going to get much better. Because like if you just run whenever the heck he Ataris, you're probably just going to give up more points, more or less. Like you're definitely just going to give up way more points. Basic Joseki, it's perfectly fine. I used to prefer this Joseki for black. I actually prefer it for white now, but I know that it's pretty even, so I'm willing to play it on both sides. White gets more territory, black gets some influence. Same thing on this side. I'm getting the influence now. And I'm actually going to play this way first. But generally, like, playing K16 is perfectly fine. You know, like, K17 actually might be a better play than K16 at this point. No, I just go ahead and play K16. He's probably thinking about double invading. I don't think I feel like that's probably not a great play. I don't know if this is a great play either, though. May not be. You can opt to go over here. That's fine. Okay, I don't think this works for me, so I'm gonna go over here. I still have, that's not a really good play because I still have the, oh, that's a really bad play actually. It doesn't solve c17 in the, well, it kind of does, but if the liberties get really, really tight, you're in a lot of trouble if you do that. And also, like if I do something like this, you're still in a lot of trouble. You're still in a whole lot of trouble if I do that, and that's not really an acceptable loss for black. Because in the end, you're still not really alive. There is a way you can be alive, though. There is actually a way. Well, is there? I think there's a way you can be alive. Maybe. Yeah, I would probably. I would have to let him live if he actually plays that way. Black is actually alive here. There's several ways he can do this. I can't really stop him because my liberties are too tight here. So black is actually alive here. Yeah. Just connect this. I can't do this because he would actually just play b17. But this is not a good result. This is definitely not a good result for black. It's a very bad result for black. Here you would play this. You want to come out. I think the correct move was actually to invade the 3-3, but I guess he didn't want that. It's not a good move. I think you should just probably I probably shouldn't have responded to that either though. I'm just gonna try to base here. Obviously I'm not going to let him cover me in full. And extend this way. This extends my influence here as well. But maybe not the best move. I do open myself up for this particular move. I'm not too worried about it, but I do open myself up for it. I'm going to go here first. So for this particular move, I will actually I am going to actually attack him. There's no question about that. Use some advantages here. I don't know if that was the right move or not. I don't think that was the smartest move, but whatever. See how this turns out. I don't really do this fight all too often. think he should have haunted for sure. I think for sure he should have haunted on that. I think he's forgetting something very important, that if I extend this down and I end up winning this fight, he's kind of screwed. But can I extend it down? I'm going to try it. This could end up really bad for me. Because since I have these two, like, I don't think this works for... I actually do not think this works for him. It might not work for me. Whatever. We'll get to it. Oh, that's a horrible one. You definitely need to extend this up. Since I think I probably made a mistake there by doing that. But like by doing this, you kind of like screwed yourself a little bit, at least. Yeah, but I actually don't think that was a good move by me. I do not think that was a good move by me. This is very damaging. So even if he lives, which he did he? No, I don't think he did. I think this might actually just be Ko. No, he's alive. He's indeed alive. But it's not a very good way to actually make your thing alive, because this now is like, this corner is now under threat, and you still manage to give me a lot of points up here. K17. If you're talking about the fight down here, he should have just extended this one. He definitely should have just extended this one. I'm going to do this first. Because there was a lot of trouble for me if he just extended up. If he just extended upwards. Because like, despite him living down here, he's still like, I still probably at least got like 20, 30 points up here just by this influence. Probably should do this first. That you should not have responded to. I'm willing to give him some points down here pretty easily, because I am building a lot of influence up here. You definitely should not do that. There's not that much potential in getting points down here anymore. And you most definitely don't want to help me build this giant thing here. Because even if you invade here, I'm going to get points on both sides. And you really can't invade any deeper at this point. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Like, you see like how I make my center territory come together? I mean, he's just giving me the center territory. Like, this is how you build center territory. I do give up a couple of points down there, but it's really not that much. I do give a couple of points down there, but it's really not that much. This is just to protect the other territory. I don't really need to do that. For beginners, that is how you build center territory, by the ways. This is like, he still has to answer. Otherwise, I can play R10. Attacked another corner instead of F17 instead of K17. F17? Maybe, we'll look at it later. Yeah, I mean, right now I just have more territory, so it doesn't really matter. There's still a lot of big moves to be played, though. Like, this is pretty big, obviously. You should probably push here first. Well, maybe not, because you should probably, yeah, you should definitely push here first, because now you still kind of have this problem. There could actually be a way to attack this particular group, so I'm going to have to fix it very soon. Should probably do it right now. This one doesn't really, I mean, like, he can actually make this territory, which is fine. I don't really have anything against him making this territory. There's not too much there. But like this, you can see like this territory is really big. And plus, like outside of this territory, you have to remember I still have points here and here and here. Although this could actually be under danger. I think this is big enough to not be in danger, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I might as well just do this first. You should not do that because this actually makes this hardened. And it makes this a little problematic. I think this actually might be dead in here. I'm not 100% sure. Well, I'm going to fix it soon, but I'm not 100% sure. It actually might be dead in there. Especially if my liberties get really tight. There's decent chances of dead in here, actually. That's bad because now I don't have to fix this. Because that's actually Sente, and I have this out too, so I can get this move. So he actually might think that this is a protection, but if he does that, I'm just going to take these stones. And he takes that, I'm just going to snap back. So this is not really a protection. Because since there's a liberty free here, yeah, since there is actually a liberty free here, like this, I can actually do this since there's a liberty free here. The corner thing's much bigger. If he connects this, however, I will have to connect this. But the thing is, if he takes it right here, I can even just do this, honestly, because he can't come in. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. So this is actually quite a few points here. My move 18. That was a while ago. We'll check that when we review. N19 is actually quite big right now because N19 for me is Sente. That's why it's big. Not really sure if he has. Yeah, he probably should. This is actually fairly large. I do have to. I do actually have to connect this sooner or later. Ooh, oh yeah, that's big. Whoops. Whoopsies. Ah, whoops. I forgot about that. Forgot about that. Oh, wait. Oh, he blocked. Okay, okay, that's why. He blocked. Yeah, there was the double Atari there. I'm missing too many things. That's my bad. That's my bad. I should have connected. I should have connected, and then he would have had to connect. That was my bad. Definitely my bad. I'm just gonna do this. Ooh, actually, no, it's not a problem. Is it? No, it's not. It's not. Oh, actually, it might be a. Oh, that is a problem. Is it? Connect. Yeah, it is actually a problem. It is actually a big problem. He missed something big here. That was definitely a big problem. Just gonna go ahead and connect this so there's no problems. Don't think there's problems there. Going to connect it just in case, but I don't think there's actually any problems there. That's not a big deal. This is bigger. No, there's nothing here. Gonna take all the centes. This corner thing is fairly large. This regularly would not be a point, but it is actually a point here. There's also nothing here. I have to figure out OBS how to get my mouse cursor to show up. because that is actually like kind of important. I'm not exactly sure how to get my mouse cursor to actually show up here. There's nothing in here that you can actually do. It's a little too late, actually.
Pass. Remove the dead stones. You have won.
Okay, that's fine. But I mean, realistically, like making the center territory was just too big. But there's definitely things that he could actually have done to reduce my center territory. So this is fine. This is just basic Joseki. There's nothing wrong with that. This is fine as well.
Challenge received.
I'm not going to play anymore today. I just do 2 games a day. Go down here. It's fine. I think this is probably just better. If black just does this, and then just goes ahead and does this. That's much better for black. If white does this, like you can just connect, and white can just connect, and then you have a free move. That's probably what you should do. Come up here. That's not a good move because you still leave this move up later, right? So I'm going to extend out. This is definitely a horrible move because what this really does is it tightens your liberties by 1. And the thing is, like, if I Hane here, because, like, after you do this, you kind of have to do this. Because if I Hane here, there's really not a good response. So you do this. I'm going to Hane here. Obviously, I mean, you can either respond this way to the Hane, which I would just kind of ignore, or you can respond this way to the Hane, which no one really wants to do. I can't kill you here. I can't kill you here, but, I mean, this doesn't feel good for black. So this move is not a good move. I'm going to Hane here. And then, of course, I'm going to take this. This is actually alive. I can't do this because he can just do this. If I go this way, then white is dead. So he is obviously alive here. I'm going to connect. He does that. I'm going to come out. Now, I think the best move here is to play the 3-3. If I do this, you already get the corner. I would threaten this stone, but realistically, like, you can just give away this stone. And it's not really that much. You've already gotten all the corner territory, and all white gets is like this little stone here. So I think the 3-3 approach is the best. So he does that. I'm going to take... That's generally not a good... But I think here you would either just do this or even just jump here. Reduce white's influence over here. You're not really under threat. And white's 3 stones are still somewhat questionable. So I feel like when I do this, black should just come up. That's not a good move. I shouldn't have responded to that. I should have just probably jumped up here. This is not big enough right now. This I don't think is a good move. I think it's much better just to jump over here and not mess with this. That was also a bad move on my part. I could just go ahead and do this, but this here isn't completely solidified yet. And if black does this, white could definitely have some trouble. Maybe just connect. Then, I don't know, maybe like at this point force something like this. I'm not sure. Also, I do actually think like this move is better than this move. It's just better for white's shape. So I did that. He comes up. I'm going to do that to try to keep a little bit of pressure. Realistically, right now, black's pretty much alive, so there's very little pressure on this. I'm actually more than happy to trade this with this because I'm just trying to build my influence over here. So here, I'm going to do this first. He might have actually just been able to do this and traded this move because now he puts these 3 under threat. and then like you're always eyeing this later on as well. So the best move might have actually just been this, to trade this invasion for that invasion, and then put pressure on these 3 stones. I'm really just looking for Sente here, so that's fine for me. This is generally not a great move, but in this case it's okay because you're trying to take advantage over here to attack these two stones over here. If these 2 stones over here weren't over here, and you're not trying to build influence in this area, in the middle area, you would never actually play Q15. But because that solves a lot of black's problems. But since I am trying to attack these 2 stones that since I am trying to attack M18 and M16, that's actually an okay move right now. I don't think that's a good move. I think this is probably a better move. But he answered wrong. This is an automatic Hane. The difference between Hane and just going flat is actually pretty big. So yeah, that's a pretty big mistake. I come over, he does that. I feel like he should have just done this. I don't exactly know what I would have done here, because this is always kind of Sente. If I do this, you can just go ahead and do this. So doing this, I still can't do that. I mean, you do have to watch out whenever I take this, because you do have to repair this. I guess this is like a lot more complicated, but remember, like, this isn't really alive yet. You still have to like play this, but it is kind of hard to kill. So I feel like I would have extended up, because I can't just do this, because I have to take care of this sometime. And then if I do that and you do that, like, that is complete failure for me. So I would have probably extended up. I think this was actually a mistake. Because now you have to do that. You give me the Sente. I'm obviously going to come up here. I'm going to block off. And like, this is actually a really big success for me, even though you lived, because the thing is, like, now you've damaged your points in here. Yes, you've broken my points in here, but you've kind of sacrificed your corner, because I can do like R18 now. You're alive, very nice, but you know, I get to do that. I don't think this is necessary. I think like when I do this, you just kind of come up here. I still have to kind of answer this, you know. I mean, I would still get some territory in there, but like, that's kind of like, you know, you traded living down here for some territory up here, definitely. And the thing is, like, the way I'm looking at the game is like, how much territory does black have? How much territory does white have? Okay, black has this, white has this corner, white has this side, black sort of has this corner, and black sort of has this side. Like, gauging right now, white's definitely significantly ahead based on the influence and solid territory that he had. So I'm okay with trading this. The thing is, like, the thing is, if you're black, you want to hurry up and settle this bottom group here, and not like try to trade influence, because black trading influence doesn't really get black anything. There's no big territory that black can actually make. So, but white trading influence has all this middle territory that he can make. So you don't really want to do this as black. I'm going to do this first just to secure this group. This should not, like, you should not have blocked this. This is not big enough. This is like this move is way bigger. It does threaten this. It does actually put a little bit of pressure on white. And the thing is, like, this flattens out, this particular move, P13, flattens out white's shape. So that's a big advantage for me to get that. And then, of course, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to give up some of the bottom territory. But once again, you don't really want to Hane with me, because if you Hane with me, I'm going to end up getting all the middle territory, and that's very bad for you. Like, you essentially just gave me all the middle territory. At this point, like, I would definitely try pulling something like this, because this is actually pretty hard to respond to. I mean, yes, you can respond to it, and I still get the territory, but at least you get some of it back. So I feel like there's no reason to do this as well. Your groups really aren't under threat. So I would just invade here at this point. I mean, you're not going to be able to destroy that much. I would still get plenty of territory, but it's better than the other result where I get all of this territory. And like moves like this, there's not really much moves like h8. I generally wouldn't do because I guess like if you want to settle the bottom group, it's fine. But um, you're basically solidifying White's center territory. Yes, R10 is still a problem, so he does have to respond. Me doing this, obviously, right now, if I were black, I probably wouldn't respond to this. Oh, no, no, because like, let's say you do this. Like, if white does this, you can always just go down. It's just a couple of points here. It's not that big. I would instantly do it because it is probably Sente, but um, yeah, that's very big. And once again, like, I would definitely do this. If I was black, I would definitely do this first. And maybe do something like this. And also, like, before you do this, you definitely would do this first. Even if I ended up doing this, and then doing this, like, you obviously have options to do this, right? So I would definitely go down. I would definitely charge first. I actually think that once the liberties are tight, this in here is in danger. Right now, I don't think it's in that much danger. This is a bad move. This is actually a pretty bad move. This is just much better, because like if you before you do that, if I double Hane, you can actually disconnect me. You have that option, but after you do this and I do this and I Hane, there's the Atari isn't there anymore. So you're making me stronger by doing this, and for no benefit to yourself. Like one of the things in Go is like unless you're really playing for an advantage or building up some kind of influence, you don't want to play moves that fixes your opponent's problems, and that's exactly what that move is. This is also a bad move because obviously like it lets me connect in Sente. So now there's like no danger here anymore. I'm gonna do that first. This is wrong. You would definitely do this first. It forces me to do this, and then this is Sente for you. Because I would definitely have to repair that. So that's actually Sente for black. If you do that. But like the way that he did it, it's still Sente, but like there's an exchange of like 2 or 3 points here. Because like originally like this stone was black's, and white would have to make an extra move here. So it's like 3 or 4 points of a difference here. This is just my mistake. There's obviously a double Atari here, but this isn't really that many points. I just completely like I kind of assumed that he did this. That's why I messed that up. So I didn't really realize that he blocked. This is obviously a mistake by me. There is a S5 move if I don't repair this, so I had to do that. Obviously, I'm just gonna take those. So there is actually a major problem here that he didn't actually, he did not actually do. If you cut here, and then you do this, you can actually kill white stones. So obviously that is a big thing that he actually missed. That is a really kind of a massive thing that he missed. So here, realistically, once he does this, I sort of have to play it this way. So that's the way I should have played there. And realistically, once he does this, I should have just done this, obviously. Just give up the stuff on the bottom. So that is one play that he actually missed in retrospect. Oh, that's the last chance he had to pull some points back. So that was the game right there. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. I will actually be back. Oh, I skipped move 18. Okay. I will actually be back tomorrow, but let me actually look at move 18. 4, 5, 6. So move 18. So what was your question though? F17, K17? You could play K17. I mean, it's a double pincer. It really depends on your preference. I would have probably preferred here. I would have probably preferred h17 actually. I mean, you can do this. I would probably just go ahead and invade anyways. Something like that, maybe. I don't know, maybe something like this. I think it's personal preference. Some people prefer the more peaceful method. Other people prefer to separate. It doesn't really matter that much. It really just depends on your style of play. It's just your style of play. All right. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button, and I'll be back tomorrow. Well, probably Monday actually.